Nested Loops by Isabella T. In another universe, there was a planet named Yoke. Inhabitants of Yoke Planet, otherwise known as Yokelings, were a nest of snakes. They spoke Python. Now these snakes somehow got a hold of vegetable loops. And they were inspired to make cereal. This cereal was made out of loops. Literally. What are loops? Loops are repeated lines of code. They are repeated until they have satisfied the condition. The snakes, however, couldn't understand that. So they translated it into Python. In Python, a for loop is for I in range, a number, and the loop body. I is just a variable. It can be any letter. Number represents the number of times you want to repeat it. Number must be a whole number. For those lines of code you want to repeat, you must indent it. The variable always starts at 0 and ends directly before the number. Such as this. You would get 0, 1, 2. There was a problem. The snakes could not make a nested loop with just one loop. They invented a new kind of loop. This new loop would be named after what they call their home, nest. Now, what? What is a nested loop? It's cereal, duh. It's cereal. Of course. But in Python, a nested loop is a loop inside of a loop, which means that loops inside of 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 loops. Oops. Continuing. So, this is a nested loop, which it's a loop inside of a loop, which means that what happens is that the inner loop starts first and the outer loop loops second. So you can see here that it would be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Apologies. So, the snakes on planet Yoke used the idea of nested loops to increase the production of cereal. They were able to sell it to planet Earth. The cereal was booming and they were rich. Later, by selling the technique of nested loops, they were able to make more and more cereal and more money. So the government snatched the technique. They decoded it with their devices. After, Python became used in a factory to mass produce products and robots, and after being released to the public, it became recreational. The nested loop was able to simplify a lot of long lines of code. Nested loops is just a delicious cereal. So I used nested loop on some very difficult projects. It is useful in a lot of ways. These numbers can be controlled furthermore, where it's AB and I starts at A and stops right before B. Next, it's ABC, which starts at A and before B and adds C each time, as you can see here. Here are some things that you can do, but nested loops, not only could it be used for manually changing repeating lines, but you could also take advantage of the variables. So here are some things that you can do. The use flag, animated clock. But at the end of the day, nested loops are just loops inside of 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 loops.